Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at Newage's take on a Generation 1 blaster figure. So in this video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to have a look at the two cassettes that come with him, one still inside his chest. We'll compare him to the Generation 1 original and his more recent Generations figure as well. Before we get started, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And the other is to thank Shozy, because that's where this came from. And as you can see, they got him to me quickly and safely. Let's start off with looking at the packaging then. So again, we can tell that this is a blaster figure, but because this is made by Newage and the figure transforms, he is not licensed by Takara or Hasbro, so they have to use a different name. And they've called him Louie. I have no idea why. If anybody does know, please let me know in the comments. He does come packaged in robot mode, but to make the video a bit faster, I've got him in his alternate mode, and I will be separately uploading a transformation tutorial. As always, the instructions, as you can see here, aren't the clearest, and they never ever are. So it's not too complicated, but there are lots of steps, and at least there's some transformation processes there for the cassettes as well. Right, so he does come with an additional two sets of hands. We've got some pointing hands, we've got some open hands, we've got a blaster, we've got two small guns for the cassette, and we've also got some speakers as well. Now you can see that I've stood up all of these pretty much next to it, so let's have a look at the actual cassette deck or boombox, whatever you want to call it. Now I've got to confess straight away that this looks, I think, very, very good. I like the way that it's all covered up all around the back, which I think it should be, which is ironically enough, which is exactly what the G1 does, but some of the newer releases don't, and that applies to pretty much every company as well. Like Magic Square's Soundwave had all the big gaps on the back as well, but this is very, very well done. Now there are some die cast parts on this, but this one is majority plastic, in all honesty. The cassette deck does open, and I've already put one of the cassettes in. Rewind is sitting in there, so what I decided to do for this video, we'll have him in cassette mode and ram horn in alternate mode, and then when we come in robot mode, we'll have them the other way around. So the cassette deck isn't spring activated, which you can see, and thankfully enough, they do come out relatively easy. Again, with the Magic Square Soundwave, which I'll bring in a bit, they just struggle to get them out, to be honest. As I say, everything's compact, everything is nicely tucked away, and I really like the fact that you haven't got to worry about perhaps putting the gun or a blaster up as an antenna. So that is this size difference. As I say, these are what's known as legend scale figures, which means, yeah, they are very, very small, to be fair, in some cases. So there he is on a TF1 Prime, just to give you an idea of scale with regards to that. What else have we got here? I've got a couple of others, again, just to give you an idea of scale. There's a tired and weary Generation 1 Optimus, but then funnily enough, there is your Generation 1 blaster that always was and is huge. But again, yeah, they managed to tidy everything up neatly at the back, which is really, really good. A couple of other comparisons then, just because they're here. This is an Iron Factory's take on Leozak. But again, the shame about these particular figures now is, of course, that the alternate mode is pretty much, well, it is defunct. Not many people even know what it is, but it's good, and I thought I'd start with it because there's not too much to say about it. There it is, the alternate mode. Let's come right back and have a look at him in his robot mode. So we're back for the final time with him in his robot mode. We're going to do some more comparisons, of course, and I'm also going to show you how to use all of his accessories. Now, if I'm being completely honest, this is where Newage, I suppose, really shine, in the fact that they are super, super articulate. This, again, though, is reflected in the price. This isn't a cheap figure. They are dubbed mini masterpiece figures, and you'll see exactly why they are dubbed that right now. So the head sculpt is brilliant. You can definitely tell that that is blaster. I said, even though they're calling him Louie, you can turn it all the way around. He will look up and down, no problems whatsoever. The arms will go out to the full T, no issues whatsoever. They will spin all the way around, completely unrestricted. You've got a shoulder swivel, bicep flexion. I'll come to the wrists in a minute because there's something different. The waist will spin all the way around, which you can see. We've already seen that you can open the cassette deck just by, he says, just by opening it up here, but you do need to have some nails or a sort of spudger if you wanted to. So let's reverse it. As I said, let's put ram horn in there in robot mode. Legs are going to kick all the way up. You're going to get, yeah, just about the splits there, and that's because you can see obviously it is stopping there on the skirt, but the whole of this moves around no problem. You can go, yep, same, splits both ways. So these are pretty much right angles each way. That's just because how it fits inside that particular part there. You've got your thigh cut swivel, your knee bend, your ankle tilt, toe tap, rock, everything. So as I say, guys, you've got full, yep, there's even an ab crunch. So you've got, as I said at the beginning, you've got your masterpiece articulation, hence the name Mini Masterpieces. Now this is where I'm going to look at the wrists, because the wrists are very, very clever, because you just change the fist. So you do have wrist articulation. You can spin this around, no problem whatsoever. You can of course take his blaster and you can attach the blaster into the forearm like so, and then you can pose him a lot better than what I can, because hands up, I'm not the greatest person at posing the figures. You can of course just take these off. You'll also see that, as I said, I showed you these in the first part, that the additional wrist articulation. Now what I mean by that is, because I'm going to take these off, that with the open hands, I'm not going to attach these because I don't feel the need to, you can move this part as well. So you can move this bit up and down, as well as spinning them all the way around. I'm going to take this all the way off. You can see you've got your ports there, which is where they dead easily attach. And at the same time, you can of course obviously attach your blasters speakers, which again is something that is pretty much always needed with a blaster figure. And as I say, Takara are doing it. You got one with steel jaw and one of these is coming with Ramon, I believe, whereas with these you've got them straight away. Again, it looks good, it's a bit of fun. What I do like about it is the fact that again they do come with exactly that. They come with an abundance of accessories, but as I've already just mentioned, it is all to do with price. Before we go on to some of the other blaster figures, let's just bring in some toys to give you an idea of his size. So that is your new Commander Optimus Prime, that is your TF1 Megatron, and for the people who've not got Commander Prime yet, that's Earthrise. Again, these aren't supposed to scale together, it's just to give you an idea of his height compared to other things, because lots of people don't collect these, lots of people collect many other different things. So what I like to try and do is bring in as many different figures as I can, just to give you an idea, I say, of size of the said figure, even though, as I've already said, not supposed to scale together at all. That is your Magic Squares take on a Soundwave, which is okay. It's not the greatest, let's be honest. We've got him. Let's bring in an actual Newage David, they're calling him, which is their take. That's the comic book version, just in case anybody is wondering. And what else have I got knocking around? Let me just, in fact, let's bring in a core class Soundwave, just to give you an idea that these usually are in between your core and deluxe class size figures, and I think this is pretty much going to prove it. That's quite a big deluxe with that Optimus, but yeah, it is, as you can see, he is pretty much coming in exactly at about that height, in honesty. Right, let's bring in the rest of the blasters just to show you. In fact, before we do that, we need to bring in Eject, because we've got Eject here. And again, very, very articulate for a little guy. Head on a ball, well, it's like a mushroom. That's a ball and socket, isn't it, really? Spin it all the way around. I always get them mixed up, but same with the shoulders. These have got a hinge as well as a ball and socket to spin all the way around. Same as on the forearms. There is a swivel on the waist. There is all the same with the hips, ball and sockets, side, leg, front. Knees will twist as well as bend, and same with the heels and the feet. So, you know, you've got crazy amount of articulation in these little guys here. So let's pop the little blasters into Rewind's hands, which again is another brilliant little touch. And again, just very, very clever, to be honest. Let's pop that there. That looks okay. Just for a bit of fun, he's not even going to be able to, I don't think you're going to be able to see this guy even now at all. There's Masterpiece Soundwave. So these really, really are mini bots compared to him. And that. Right, last thing to do then, I think, is to bring in the other blasters, like so. 1, 2, and 3. Oops, it looks like I need to move all them over, because of course you can't even see them now. In fact, I need to take them back just where you'll be able to see them on the screen. But also, is he still sticking? Just, again, it just gives you an idea, I suppose, of just how big these guys are. Let's bring in, yeah, Newage Blaster is, 2 of these comes up to the original Blaster's shoulder, which is crazy, to be honest. Yeah, there you are. What I need to do now, because they're just here, last couple of things, and it's just to do with Rewind because of how small he is. I will keep that blaster there though, again, just to give you an idea of size and scale. So there is one of your generations. Let's just take him out of the way as well, and there is one of your G1. So there you go. You can again see the crazy differences in size with these guys. There's nothing more to say about him. His articulation is great. He does look good. And, you know, even if you want him to or don't want him to, oops, he does look like the cartoon. So a good representation of him. He comes with these 2 cassettes. What they've just decided to do is, depending on the deco that you're getting, they've decided to, what's the word I'm on about, to switch the cassettes around. So the cartoon deco comes with these 2 and the other ones come with different ones as well. There you go, guys. This was Newage's take on a Transformers Generation 1 blaster called number 62 Louie. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care.